Hello from Freedom Tax Accounting. We are an accounting firm here in Florida where we have been providing quality tax and accounting services now for almost 20 years. Even though we are in Florida, we are authorized by the federal government to represent individuals and businesses in all 50 US states for anything related to taxes and accounting. Today is July 29th, and we wanted to make this video because if you have not applied for the PPP loan and you're still interested in getting PPP funding, you only have 10 days left. So we wanted to do this video because there are things you need to know before you apply. Now, once again, the deadline to apply for the PPP loan is August 8th. Unless anything changes, if you have been following the PPP saga, you know that the PPP program has been changing constantly. That's the importance of subscribing to our channel because we do our best to bring you the latest information and the correct information relating to everything SBA loans. Okay, so if nothing changes, because right now there is a stimulus package being negotiated in Congress, and that may change many things. But according to the current rules as of today, July 29th, the deadline to apply for PPP is August 8th. So that means that you have 10 days from the moment I am recording this video. Okay. Now, we wanted to do this video because before you apply, you need to know three things. That way, you know if you're eligible, what do I need, can I get approved? That way, you don't waste time. Or if you're going to pay someone to do the PPP loan, you don't waste money. That way, you know if you apply or not. So the three things that we are going to discuss in this video regarding the PPP loan is if you're eligible, to apply for the loan, and where to apply to maximize the approval rate of your PPP loan. Okay, so before we go into the three things that you need to know before you apply for PPP, there are three proposed bills in Congress right now that we need to keep an eye on, because if any of these get approved, these may change current PPP loan program rules. The first one is that as we speak, Congress is negotiating to get a new stimulus package approved. Okay, so right now the Republicans and the Democrats, the Democrats have a proposal that's called the HEROES Act. The proposal on the Republican side is called the HEALS Act. So right now they're negotiating to come to an agreement on what the final stimulus package will look like. Now, in both proposals, in the Democratic proposal and the Republican proposal, in both proposals, they include a second PPP loan program that, if approved, people who got PPP can apply for a second PPP as well. The other bill that is being discussed in Congress is the Paycheck Protection Small Business Forgiveness Act. This is very important because if this gets passed into law, it will automatically forgive all PPP loans under $150,000. So if this passes into law, if you got a PPP loan under $150,000, it will be automatically forgiven and you don't have to go through the forgiveness process. The third bill that we need to keep an eye on to see if it becomes law is the Ensuring Increased Disaster Loan EIDL for Small Businesses Act. This is a bill that, if approved, will provide extra funding for the EIDL program. And how does this affect PPP? Because remember that whatever EIDL grant you get from the SBA will affect the PPP forgiveness funds. So in this bill, if it gets approved, people who applied for the EIDL grant are going to get the full $10,000. So for example, most independent contractors only got $1,000 grant because it right now is $1,000 per employee up to 10,000. But most self-employed got $1,000, and if this gets approved, they're going to get an additional $9,000. And we don't know if that is going to affect the PPP. So these are three bills that we're keeping a close eye on because they directly affect the PPP program. Now, the first thing you need to know before you apply for the PPP and you don't get denied is that you must know that the owner must be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, meaning that you have to have at least a green card. If you have an employer, a work permit, that is not a green card. You're going to get rejected. You're not going to get your PPP approved. So in order for your PPP loan to get approved, the owners of the business must be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. And this is not official, but we have seen that these owners have to appear as owners in 2019, because when we've seen cases where businesses are trying to put U.S. citizens as owners now in order to apply, but the SBA is still not approving these PPP loans. Okay, so once again, in order to apply and be eligible for PPP, the owners must be U.S. citizens or permanent residents, that they must have a green card. The business must be active, meaning making revenue in 2019. If you formed your business in 2020, you will not get your PPP loan approved. Your business must be registered, making revenue at least in 2019. If your business did not make revenue in 2019, it does not apply for the PPP, okay? Now, if you are a C corporation, meaning that you file your corporate taxes under Form 1120, if you are an S corporation, meaning that you file your business taxes in Form 1120S, you must have payroll in 2019, okay? So 1099 contractors do not count as payroll employees. So you must have had employees in payroll in 2019. Now, if you had payroll in 2019, you must have your 2019 940 payroll report or a payroll report. If you do not have these payroll reports, that means you did not have payroll in 2019, and your C corporation or S corporation, it can be an Inc. and a corporation, it can be an LLC. But for tax purposes, a C corporation is a business that files Forms 1120, and S corporations files Forms 1120S. So if your business files either one of these forms for your 2019 tax return, you must have payroll in order to apply for PPP, okay? Now, if you're self-employed, if you are an independent contractor, if you are a sole proprietor, if you are a single member LLC, basically any type of business entity that files a Schedule C, in order to apply for PPP, you must have a 2019 Schedule C. Now, you don't have to have filed 2019, but that is something we are not recommending. We are not recommending that you file for PPP without you having filed your 2019 tax return. Why? Because even though for the PPP application, you only have to send in a Schedule C, you have to make sure that at the time you do file for 2019, Your Schedule C that you use for the PPP application, it must have the same numbers as what you're going to file to the IRS. If not, you can get into big trouble with the IRS and the SBA. So to avoid issues in the future, we suggest that you file your 2019 tax return with the Schedule C and then apply for the PPP loan. That way you make sure that whatever Schedule C you use for the PPP is the same Schedule C the IRS has under your name. Now, under the Schedule C, you must check line 31, okay? Where do you check that? So basically, let's look one up. It's 2019 Schedule C, okay? So if you take a look at your 2019 Schedule C, this is inside your personal tax return. You're gonna see on the top left, it says Schedule C. You need to check line 31. That's this line right here. All right, so if line 31 has a loss, meaning that there's a negative number, you cannot apply for PPP. Okay, so once again, if the line 31 of your Schedule C has a loss or a negative number, you are not eligible for PPP funds. You may be eligible for the EIDL, but you are not eligible for PPP. Also, this is not official, but we have done over 400 PPP applications since the month of April, and we have seen that the schedule in line 31, if you have under $5,000 in line 31, most probably you will not get approved because the banks have a minimum loan requirement. And if the schedule line 31 is under 5,000, most probably you do not meet the criteria of the bank to approve your PPP funds, okay? So let's go back in. Now, if you are a partnership or a multi-member LLC, how do you know that you are a partnership? Your business tax return you file with Form 1065. So if your business or LLC filed Form 1065 for 2019 business taxes, you are a partnership. Now, if you have a partnership, your partnership must need a 2019 1065, and inside that form, there's another form called the K1. And you must have a K1 for each member of the partnership, and the partnership must have reported a net profit. You cannot have reported a net loss. So if your partnership on the corporate tax return has a loss, then you cannot apply for the PPP program. Now, that was the first thing you need to check before you apply for PPP is your eligibility. Second thing you need to know before you apply for PPP is the documentation and the information that is going to be required to apply for PPP. Now, this list is all the documents and information needed for any type of business, C Corps, S Corps, self-employed, independent contractors, partnership. It doesn't matter what type of entity you have. For the PPP application, you're going to need this. You're going to need a color copy of the owner's driver's license of every owner. And you're going to have a color copy of the driver's license on both sides. You have to have your home address. And a trick, when you apply for the PPP, make sure that the home address you put in the application is the same address as in your driver's license. We've seen that if you place a different home address that's not the one on your driver's license, you get denied the PPP loan. So make sure, that's a little tip for those of you who are going to apply now. The date of birth, they're going to ask for your social security number. Now, no item Okay, remember, if you don't have a social and you have an ITIN tax ID number, you are not a US citizen and you are not a permanent resident with a green card. As one of the questions we get a lot in our firm is that, can I apply for a PPP with an ITIN tax ID number? And the answer is no. Okay, you must have a social, but most important thing that having a social, you must be a US citizen or have a green card. They're going to ask you for your business EIN number. Now, if you're self-employed or independent contractor, you may not have an EIN number because you're working under your social. They're going to ask you for your business address. And once again, another tip, make sure that the business address that you put in your PPP application is the same business address that appears in your 2019 tax return. Okay, so that's one tip. They're going to ask for a February 2020 bank statement of your business account. Now, if you're self-employed, you may have an account that's under your name that you use for your business. You can use that. Or there are some self-employed individuals that use one account for business and personal. That is not recommended, but if that's the case, you can still use that personal checking account. You need the account number and the routing number because you need to let them know where you want the funds to be wired to. And you're going to need a void check of that same checking account. You just have to take a picture of one of the checks and you need to write void on the top. Now, a lot of you are asking us through the YouTube channel, what happens if I don't have a check for that account? Well, as of today, we have not seen a PPP lender that is not asking for a void check. So either talk to your local, the bank you're using now, they may be accepting PPP applications, and see if they allow you to apply for PPP without having checks, because they can verify that you were active in February, is your bank. But if not, you're going to have to get checks for the account you want for the PPP loan. Now, that's for every type of entity. If you are a C Corp or an S Corp, and once again, if you are a C Corp, how do you verify? Take a look at your corporate tax return, and on the top left is going to say Form 1120. And if you're an S Corp, your corporate tax return on the top left is going to say Form 1120S. So if you are a C Corp or an S Corp, these are additional documents you are going to require, additional to the ones we discussed in the prior slide. Okay, so if you're a C Corp or an S Corp and you want to apply for PPP, you will also need to have your 2019 940 payroll report. You're going to need your 2019 W3 payroll report. In some lenders, they're going to ask you for the complete 2019 corporate tax return. And some lenders are asking for the articles of incorporation. This is wrong, it's not 2019. It's the articles of incorporation or the articles of organization of your business. Okay. Now, also, if your business provided and paid health insurance for your employees, then you're going to have to provide a 2019 summary of the employer's portion payment of health insurance to the employees. And if your business also provided or paid your employees' retirement fund, you have to have the 2019 summary of the employer's portion payment of the retirement fund for your employees. Okay. Now, if you're self-employed, an independent contractor, a sole proprietor, a single member LLC, basically any business entity or person who files a Schedule C, they're going to ask for the 2019 Schedule C. You cannot use your 2018 Schedule C. That is a mistake a lot of people are doing. You have to have your 2019 Schedule C. Now, some lenders are going to ask you for the entire 2019 1040 tax return, which is your personal tax return. And if you're a single member LLC, some lenders will ask you for the articles of organization of your LLC. If you are a partnership, meaning that your business files Form 1065, they're going to ask for the 2019 1065 form, and especially they're going to ask for the K1 forms for each owner that are inside your 1065. So inside your 2019 1065 for your partnership, each owner must have a K1 form. That's what you're going to submit to the PPP lender. Now, the third thing you need to consider before applying for the PPP is, where do you apply? Now, the lender or the bank must be approved by the SBA. Now, you can talk to your current bank. It may be one of the big banks, national banks like Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo. They are accepting PPP applications. So you can just talk to your current bank and see if they are accepting PPP applications. But once again, since April, we have done a lot of PPP application loans, and we've seen that the small local banks and the local credit unions have been more effective in getting the PPP funds approved compared to the big banks. So that may be, and you don't have to have an active account with them. So if you have a business account in Bank of America, but you want to apply with a credit union and you don't have a business account with them, you can still apply with the smaller banks. Now, where we have seen the most success in getting PPP approved is through the fintechs or the online financial institutions, and there are a lot of them applying, receiving PPP applications. These are the ones we have used and we recommend. It is Kabbage, Bluevine, Fundbox, Square, PayPal, Fundera, and Fundio. Kabbage and Bluevine, that's the ones I prefer the most, but all of them are very effective in getting PPP loans. And once again, you do not have to apply with only one bank. You can apply with all of them. Okay, there's no restrictions on that. It's like when you go to the grocery store and you're in a line to pay for your groceries, and you tell your wife to stand over in that other line to see who gets to the front first, and then you go through that line. That's what you're doing. You can apply in all of them, and whoever approves your loan first, you go with that lender. But then you need to make sure that you cancel the application with whoever you have applied, because you cannot get two PPP loans at this time. Okay. Now, this is where you can apply. We have done several YouTube videos where we show you how to apply. So if you take a look at our YouTube channel and look to how to apply for PPP videos, we have tutorials on how you can do the PPP loan applications yourself. Okay, so thank you. We hope that this information has been of value to you. We just wanted to let you guys know the things you need to know before applying for PPP, especially if you're eligible, the documents you need, so that way you don't waste time with these applications if you're not eligible. So we want to share this information with you. So if you think that this information has been of value, like our channel, so that like this video, so that more business owners get a chance to see it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because once again, the PPP loans are going through constant change. There are new laws coming in the pipeline that may help businesses get additional funding. So we will do our best always to bring you the latest information with the PPP loans. Once again, God bless you. We're praying for you. We're praying for your business. We're praying for your family as you stay safe during this coronavirus pandemic. If you, this is our contact information. We do our best to answer all the questions you guys are putting in the comments of the videos. We really do our best to answer all of them, but we're getting so many that we really don't have time to answer all of them, but we do our best to answer the questions in the comments below. If you do not know us, we are part of Freedom Group. We are a group of 4 companies where we have the tax accounting firm, an immigration law firm, a real estate business in Florida, and an insurance and financial planning business as well. So we can help you in many, many ways. So once again, this is our contact information. We have lowered our consultation rate in order to provide good advice to business owners. If you need help in the PPP applications, we are providing that as a service. If you need help with the EIDL application, we are providing that as a service as well. If you need help with your PPP forgiveness, as of today, I would not pay anyone for PPP forgiveness. Why? Because you still have a lot of time to apply for forgiveness if you already got the PPP loan. And since there's laws that may come into effect that will automatically forgive your PPP loan, we are advising all our clients, let's wait till the new laws pass to make sure that we don't waste time with the PPP forgiveness application. So once again, like this video and subscribe to our channel. All right, God bless you. Bye-bye.